Greetings, I'm Matt Benvidal and Namaste. We're here to learn together and to grow together. I'm here to speak about the 20 indicators for the dark night of the soul. If you've been through it, or you're in it, or you're coming out of it, this will help you. Stay tuned, and I'll see you after this. So, welcome back. Matt Benvidal, and I'm here to speak about the dark night of the soul. So I hear you all say, what is the dark night of the soul? So the dark night of the soul is when you're going through a monumental shift to the next level. Sometimes it comes up in really low moods, and I will explain a bit more later on what that entails and what that's about, and give you some pointers on how to manage it and to come out of it, or also just to ride through it. And why is it so key to have the dark night of the soul, and why have we right now, what does the dark night of the soul really mean? In a long shot, it's actually a good thing. It actually shows that you are making progress within your spiritual and your manifestational ascension. So look at it as the key things about your growth, that you are making changes. You know, there's a saying, if you're not going through hard times, that means that God is not recognized you. And it doesn't mean whoever goes through bad times that God's not there to support you. Now, I always say, I was talking to somebody the other day when I was doing a reading for him, and I said that I could see that there's that old saying about the footprints on the sand. So you see two footprints walking, but when hard times come, there's only one footprint. When it gets better, there's two again. Now that's basically the creator or God or your guide helping you through that time, so they're carrying you if you will it. Like if you was a mother or father and your kids get tired, you would pick them up and you would help them through the rough times, then dragging them along the way. That's basically what the dark night of the soul is you going through that transformation. It's just a word to say it's a dark night of the soul. It's where the soul is being really tested. Not tested as in you're going to fail, tested in order to overcome obstacles and teach you that you'll go on to the new path and the new changes. So how do you do it? So balancing your soul is another indicator that you are going through the dark night of the soul. It's about you balancing your spirit, your inner self. Now, if you spend so much time more worrying about where you're going and what you're about and all the things that are going wrong, instead of meditating, going into yourself, really not procrastinating, but really progressing yourself through letting go, being awareness and gratitude, you would see this dark night of the soul is not as bad as it could be. And again, it is just an indicator that you are now going through this monumental shift. Now, we all go through it, especially you're spiritual. Now, there's this whole thing about if you're spiritual, your life gets easier. Now, most spiritual people who I've spoken to, they totally agree with me and say that it's probably one of the most challenging times when you come more self-aware, you found your spiritual ability or your spiritual meaning, or when you started to find yourself. The good thing about when you find yourself and you're along the spiritual journey, and again, this is all a part of the dark night of the soul, is that you progress and your spirit gets stronger. You get closer to the Godhead or the God source or the source. You're making that journey up that ladder, than opposed to going down the ladder when you become very physically minded and where you're more focused upon earthly matters and things of that nature. And when you choose, and you're not choosing your true direction in life, because so many people live in a darkness, not a dark night of soul, live in darkness, and they rather live in ignorance than they're supposed to learn about who they are and what they are about. So, going through the dark night, so how do you find your light? Find your light, look within, meditate. I always say you do a lot of chakra balancing, because when you're going through the dark night of the soul, what it is your chakras being thrown all over the place. If you know how to do Kundalini, then do Kundalini meditation. But the two things is the Kundalini meditation and also the chakra meditation, aligning those chakras. Now you can obviously go on YouTube and find these meditations. Guided meditations is pretty good to use, but along the way, it's about making sure that you're always obviously safe. But that's what it's about. It's your spirit or your chakras gets thrown out. So this is when you start manifesting negative things. You start meeting negative people, and you start being unsure, and you really feel really quite stuck in that mud. That's because you're even too grounded, or you're away with the fairies. You need to be balanced, grounded, and also with links to the creator or to the universe. That's another important thing about being aware and making sure how you move on with the dark night of the soul. How do you grow and get your connection with God? That's a good point. Going back to what I just said about your connection and looking at your chakras and accepting. I can't emphasize anymore. There's 3 points, I call it. Third point is being aware. When you're aware that you are in a negative place and you're not sure where you're going, and you don't just ignore it and just run off and just not acknowledge that you're in this place, that's when you stay stuck. And I know many people stay in a dark night of the self for up to 4 to 5 years because they've not accepted, or they get scared and they get corrupted, or they just feel it's easier just to stay and not deal with the things that matter at hand. The second point is gratitude. Gratitude and acceptance. They're the 2 things that are important. You have to be gratitude for where you are, what you got, that you're actually going through this journey, because as I said, the dark night of the soul is about developing and moving forward. So when you're moving forward, things are changing and things are making sure that you are achieving your goal. Now, when you have gratitude is, again, you are aware of where you are, and you look about the little things that you have, your family, your friends, the loves that you have, your job, your car, your kids, everything that is key. Even the smallest things, your home, your health, these little things are so key in order for you to grow. And then when you need to let go and you need to move forward, it's about really accepting the negative things that you don't need. And when you start letting it go, that's when things will start to shift. When you really don't need to buy that outfit, you don't need to buy them pair of shoes, you don't need to buy that mobile phone because you're just buying it because someone else has got it. When you don't need to really take part in a debate or a gossip about somebody, all these things pull you in. And if you look at when you're going through the dark night of the soul, you would realize that you are amongst people that would do these types of things, and that's what you're manifesting. And that's why people said it's a challenge, or you're being tested. You are kind of being tested, but it's also about. I don't believe in testing. I honestly believe that it's reason, an opportunity for change. So that's why all these things are given to you, for you to have an opportunity for you to shift from one point to the other. So the next point is number 5. Number 5 is the dark night of the soul depression? I get asked this all the time, and I'm going to speak about spiritual depression, but later on I'm going to speak about depression. Now, depression is a place, obviously, to do with the chemicals in your brain, and sometimes there's reason for it, sometimes you're just feeling really low. Now, with the dark night of the soul, this isn't mental, this is spiritual. This is about your chakras. You have aching pains, you have aching muscles, you have bad backs, you have palpitations, you'd have sore throats, you'd have bad knees. All these little things, they manifest. If you look at them, they will manifest around the chakras, these 7 points in the chakras. So be aware of those. And when the thing you need to fine tune, is where your ache is. For example, if you've got a bad back, obviously grounding. If you're too grounded or you're not grounded enough, you need to do meditation on grounding. If you've got a stomach ache, like reflux, that's about, your solar plexus and your heart. So you need to deal with that. You need to look at what's going on and you need to align those. The throat, sore throat, the same thing, and so on and so forth. So take key for what it is. So dark night of depression and dark night of soul isn't a depression. I like to say that's a spiritual depression, because with most, I suppose with most depressions, it's about something's not right, and it's about you working through it in order to achieve it and to come in alignment with it. So number 6, what happens if you resist the dark night of the soul? Good one. If you resist, it will just continue. It will just continue. And as I said, I've known someone who's been in a dark night of the soul for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then we've worked together, and then I've gone and they've told us, well, what's the problem? Obviously when they've come for spiritual coaching or transformational coaching, and they've gone, oh, I'm feeling like this, and they go through all these points, and I just go straight away, you're going through the dark night of the soul, and how long have you been this way? And they've gone, well, like for 5 years or 2 years, and I'm going, why? And then they say, sometimes some people said to me, well, you and I am, but how do I come out of it? And because it's taking you that long to realise that you've gone through it and you're not done anything about it, you're not gone to see anybody to make it happen. So that's that type of thing. And let me just explain. When you go for the dark night of the soul, and it's and I was at point 6, and you resist it, the things you resisting, when you're resisting it, are always going to stay there. So if you're in a bad relationship, for example, and you're with someone for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, or whatever long you've been in the darkness zone, you've met somebody while you were in it, either they will change with you when you're coming out of the dark night of the soul, or you're more liable to part. That's something I always tell people just to be aware of, because these things happen, and it's important that you know, because even with friends and even for family, all these stuff takes place, and it's important that we know about the transformation and obviously the impacts of your changes. But think about it, it's for your greater good. So be aware of that. Right, number 7 says, does forgiveness and gratitude help? OMG. Yes, it does, without a doubt. If you learn to forgive yourself, if you learn to forgive other people, if you learn, you hear me saying gratitude a lot, don't you? Because we don't do gratitude. We blame a lot. We say, oh God, oh damn it, oh that's my luck, or all this stuff. We don't go, yeah. We struggle with really being happy. It's really weird. I think this is all about conditioning. We all need to start going, you know what? Yeah, I'm having a good day. I was talking to one of my clients the other day, and he was hell-bent on that he's going to have a bad birthday. But anyway, he went on, and he began, and he got up and goes, you know what? It's not a bad day today. Then certain things happened, and then it just transformed, and he had a really, really positive day. One day turned into 2, 2 turned into 3, and it was a week, 7 days. All these stuff started manifesting, and then he was saying to me, maybe it's just a short term. No, don't go there. You're coming out of it. Stick with your process, and they're just showing you signs that you are coming out of your dark night of the soul. So that's important. Number 8, what happens to the pain if I don't let it go? Same thing as what I mentioned before, it remains. These are questions which people have told me, have asked me, or that I've experienced. If you don't let it go, it's just going to magnetize, and then sometimes it can be formed into illnesses, because believe it or not, illnesses come from through the mind and come through and manifest in the body. So if we accept it and we hold it, then it does get worse, and then we can't move forward because we'll be stuck within that darkness. Am I the chosen one when I come out the dark night? So I'm the chosen one. Yeah, you are. You are. As I said, God has chosen you to go through it, for you to move forward, for him to be. Let's do it this way. You're coming home. He's putting you through these. I'm conditioned to say tests. It's not tests. He's giving you these coordinates for you to return home to him. So he's sending out different routes, and because it's out of your comfort zone, that's why it feels like you're being tested. It's not you're being tested. It's just at your comfort zone for you to grow to a bigger person inside. Number 10. How long would it take to come to an end? Depends on you. Could take a day, could take 2 days, could take a year, could take 10 years. I've known somebody who's had a dark night of soul for 15 years, for crying out loud, because I never lost so much because of it. And then it's impacted on their life, their jobs, their home, and everything else. It really can make an impact. But again, it's not a bad thing. And it's again, ask for help. It's out there. And we are walking the same path, and we are here to support each other. Is it emotional unrest? Yes, it does affect your emotions. It can, if you're feeling unrestful, you're not sleeping, you're feeling low, you have mood swings, you get irritated a lot. Let me tell you something about irritation. When you irritate, for example, your partner, if you get irritated by them, it's almost like that's when you should be drawing closer to them, because they kind of know you, especially if you met them outside of the dark night. So you've not been in a dark night, so you've been in a really good place and you've met them, and then you're in it, and then things like that irritate you. That's another sign that you're going through the dark night of the soul. So be aware of that. That's so important. And unrest and emotional unrest, yes, there's lots of hate, anger. You almost manifest the stuff. It just comes in reaps and droves. So please be aware of it, and please work through it. Talk to people, communicate with people, Samaritans, your churches, your teachers, friends, family. Even if you don't want to go into in-depth, then talk to him, talk to God. He's always listening. Get a reading, talk to a pastor, anything just to make sense of what you're trying to work out. This is about your journey, and people may guide you, or you can just asked about dreams and let the dreams come into you and to give you guidance in order to come out of it. Number 12. How long would a change take? I think I kind of mentioned that, but how long would it take? Again, as I said, that's down to you. That's down to you. I like to talk about the stepping stones. So stepping stones across, let's say, the dark night of Solstice River. And I like to quote the Psalm 23, a part of Psalm 23. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for the Lord is with me. He anoints my head with oil, and my cup overflows. So the dark night of the soul is like a river. Yeah, so, and you've got these stepping stones that you step across in order to get to the other side. And those stepping stones could be changes, good changes, awareness, gratitude, love, all these things are stepping stone. Anything that is of God is a stepping stone. And asking could be asking for the next stepping stone for you to achieve the next step. So this is what I was coming to. Number 13, is it spiritual depression? Yes, I believe it is. Some disagree. It's a kind of depression, and it comes in, many forms, but it is a spiritual depression, but it affects you differently, because I've been through depression and anxiety, and this is different. And when I'm going through the dark night of the soul, which we all go through, many times, some worse than others, and sometimes it's worse at certain points than others. But as I go through it, everyone knows about it, kind of thing. I'm pretty bad. But you also get triggers, like the moon sparks me off anyway sometimes, and then the sun regenerates me. So be aware of your triggers and your de-triggers, and your powerful indicators which will boost you, whether it's music, playing out, dancing, anything like that, in order to get you out of that dark night or that spiritual depression. Is it death of the ego? That's a really good question. Someone asked me this the other day. I don't believe it is, because I believe the ego can be good. because the ego tells you when you've got a big head and when you're not going down the journey. So I don't believe that it is a bad thing. The ego is not different. The ego, I think it suppresses the negative side of the ego, because remember, the ego is still a part of you. I feel it represses the negative side of your ego in order to not achieve what you want. So when you need to, for example, you need to have a bit of an ego when you're standing here and I'm talking to you now. You have to have a bit of an ego. I mean, not a lot of people like to see themselves in a camera. A lot of people like to know that there's going to be other people seeing them talking, and they have all these ideas that people will be saying bad things about them, the comments and so on. But it's not saying egotistical. You need to have a bit of an ego. I like sharing my knowledge, and I like people progressing. This is why I do it. So yeah, it's not the death of your ego. Number 15. Do you feel alone in a crowd? OMG. Let me say that again. OMG. Yes, you do. You feel so low, so lost, like you can be in the middle of a crowd and scream and you feel no one's hearing you. Even if you're talking to people, you might as well talk another language, because they're not going to get you. And that goes back to, again, you analysing yourself and going through yourself and really working out what it is that you need to do. So moving on to the next one. Number 16 of the Dark Night of the Soul. Will it free my spirit? Yes, it will. It will move it on to another level. It will boost it and bring it forward. It will reinforce what you were and who you are. It will make you a bigger and better person. It will open your eyes. There will be this light that you be surrounded by. It would almost feel like you've gone into a bright room, but after being in a dark room. It's really quite weird. Sometimes you may see spots. You may see like when you're looking, you may see like flickering. It may be a bit blinding. You know, like when you just wake up and it's a bit bright. It's sometimes it's like spirit. Your spiritual eyes are opening. That's what this is all about. It's about you recognizing your truth and what else is out there for you to see. So number 17 is, will it help me rethink things and change things around me, helping me to achieve success? Yes, it will. It will help you to establish who you are in this life. And if you can't reevaluate, it's like as you walk in, for example, if you're walking somewhere, you're walking, and some people might have done it, no, I have, or is it just me? You're walking, or driving, and you're aware of where you're going. You're aware where you're going, so you're watching all the signs and the people, so you don't run over or walk into people. When you realise you walk past the building, or you've gone past the turning, it's like that. So it's making sure that you are aware, and something will trigger you and say, "Wait, Bob, or John, or Matt, or Sharon, or whoever," and say, "Look, you've gone too far. Pull up and check it," and you realise you've actually come out of it, or you've actually arrived, or it's almost kind of like got to go waking you up. Morning, it's time to get up now. It's one of those things. So be aware of that. And it does feel really beautiful when you come out of it. And it also gives you a good impression on the outside. The other thing I want to say as well, to help you with the success, to get over this, to get through it, get through it. Go in nature, even when it's raining. Be outside. Try and spend as much time in fresh air. And if you're indoors, meditate. But outdoors is really good because it's nature, it's natural things. In the woods, by the sea, all those types of things are really good because that's what your soul's about. It's a part of nature. So do you feel like you want to cry? Yeah, uncontrollably. It's a funny story actually. Literally, I was watching something, and it might have been an advert, but I was overwhelmingly emotional, it was emotional. It was an advert, for crying out loud. It was an advert, obviously, was that to trigger it. But I looked at it like it was one of my own kids, if you know, if that makes sense. And it was really, really powerful. And that's because all your spirits have been thrown up in the air, you know, and it's been shut up, and then you're heightened. So anything that is of those things really trigger you, and which is a good thing, because that's good, goes to show when you're an empath and when you're shifting, you pick up on those stuff. And the important thing is to keep cleansing and keep cleaning and keep yourself aware. Other point I have to mention is, well, sprinkling your house and play like chakra music, or or play like chanting, play something throughout the house so the vibrations in the house gets done, and clean, like bleach the house, like literally clean the place, because I think that that is a part of the whole of you getting better. So my half knows that when it's done, I'm forever cleaning. Not that I don't forever clean, but it's just like I'm forever out there or cleaning or doing something. Would it help me rebuild relationships? Yes. It would actually get rid of crap. It's like you booting that crap out of your life. It's like the things that are holding you back, there we go. The things that are making you stronger will remain. And all the other things that are out there, and being in so many people go, or things go, more important things will come in, and you learn to appreciate certain people more. I don't know, some people who have had distant friends become their best friends because they realise the best friends are who they were not. You get that a lot when people go off to university. That's kind of like that dark night thing. The shift is similar to that. So they go off to university, and then when they come back, they were a different person because they've experienced different things, and their friends now are not on the same wave level. But it doesn't mean sometimes the person goes away and this other person stays, and when they come back, they link. It's because they're going on the same journey as this person has. And so that's what's important to be aware of. And the final one is, does it help me heal my dark trauma? Now, this is tricky because whoever said it, I can't remember who said it, trauma is a powerful word. Now, people use traumas for like I went to the shop and there was no eggs, and it was traumatizing. No, that's not traumatizing. Trauma is if someone dying close to you, parents dying, kids dying, cats dying, your dog dying. All these things are traumatic. You being moved to the back of the queue is not traumatic. You being racially abused is traumatic. You being sexually abused is traumatic. You being physically abused is traumatic. Emotionally abused, everything like that is traumatic. So, does it help? Does it help? Yeah, it does. It does, because again, it's reinforcing you to be that stronger person. And a lot of people, I've met this lady one time, and she was a black, she was from a minority area, but she's a black lady. She was the youngest of, I think, 6, and she was always told, literally, always told, that she's ugly, she'll never achieve anything, she'll never go anywhere, she'll never be anybody or anything. Well, they were wrong. Turns out, obviously, those things have empowered her. And I remember working with her a couple of years ago and I'd done her reading, and she said to me, what inspired me is knowing, she said, what inspired her was knowing that she can have, not the last laugh, but she knows that she's moving forward, that she won't have to be there anymore, that she's going to move forward. And then she goes, it was hard each step she took, and sometimes I had dark days. Now, I like that line. That though everything was I was moving forward, I was having dark days. Now, those dark days are the dark night of the soul. And that's when I spoke to her and explained, was it like X, Y, and Z? She said, that's exactly what it is. But with that, with the dark trauma, well, I'm saying that she now is a civil rights lawyer. She travels all over the world. And again, it's not by what financially she's achieved. It's not that. She could have just been a corporate lawyer, and being successful, made probably more money. but she is making a lot of money, and helping people and saving people and empowering people and inspiring people. And inspirational. And you know what? And on top of that, she said that because she's a black woman, she felt empowered. Though despite she said to me, I never really noticed I was a black woman until I finished university. And I think what she was meant to say was that she never realised that as a black woman that it was going to be such an issue. And I think when we were speaking about it, she said that's exactly it, because she said that everyone, she didn't know what it was. She just thought it was obviously because of the colour of her skin. She was aware of that because she knows she's black, but she was already prepared for that. But she wasn't aware that she was a woman, and in some ways, that being a woman and a black woman, you've got two things that could go against you, from financially, from your station in life as a woman, and then as a black woman. So inspiring story. I mean, she is one of the successes that she's achieved, and she's done so much, not just because she's achieved goals in her life, it's because that she is empowered and she's out there making things change. And she's also, above all, she recognizes when a dark night of the soul is about to come, so she prepares, and then she knows how to try and smooth it through, than opposed to make it more of a challenge for her. So that's the 20 points of the dark, or 20 indicators of the dark night of the soul. Hope that helps. And I'm here to learn together and grow together. So I'll see you on the other side, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, you take care and look after yourself and stay safe.